Aita for refusing to go on a family vacation my mom planned that purposely excludes my fiancé right before our wedding? I never thought I'd be writing something like this. For most of my life, I've been the quiet one, the kind of person who keeps the peace, bites my tongue, and tells myself, it's not worth the fight. That habit worked fine until my mom decided to test just how far keeping the peace could stretch. My fiancée, Maya, and I met 6 years ago in a campus cafe during finals week. I was that tired engineering major who lived off instant noodles. She was the psychology student who carried flashcards everywhere and believed in tea more than sleep. Somehow, we clicked. She had this calm energy that made chaos feel manageable. 3 years ago, we moved in together, and that tiny apartment slowly turned into a real home. Plants on the windowsill, mismatched mugs, a goofy rescue dog named Milo. My parents seemed to like her, at least that's what I told myself. My mom, Linda, is the kind of woman who knows what everyone should be doing at all times. If a picture frame hangs slightly crooked, she notices before she even sets down her purse. If someone else gets attention, she finds a polite way to redirect it back to herself. She can be generous and charming, but her approval is currency. You earn it by doing things her way. In the beginning, Maya tried hard. She brought wine when she visited, offered to help with dinner, laughed at my dad's corny jokes. When my mom hosted Thanksgiving, Maya spent 2 hours helping in the kitchen, even though my mom insisted, no, sit down, you're a guest. The next day, Mom called me to say, she's nice, but she tries too hard. It's exhausting watching someone so desperate to be liked. That was the first red flag. Over the years, there were more. Small, needling comments dressed as concern. You've lost weight, Maya. Are you eating properly? It's cute that you two think you can afford a house already. Well, if you want to wait to have kids, I suppose that's your choice. I brushed it off because that's what sons of women like my mom do. We excuse, explain, and hope that time will fix it. Then came the engagement. I proposed last December under a string of lights by the river where we had our first date. Maya said yes through tears and laughter, and that night we called our families. My mom's response was almost warm. She congratulated us, then immediately asked, "You're not planning a destination wedding, are you? Those are such a nightmare for guests." Classic Linda. Celebration first, control second. Still, we thought things were fine. Maya started coming to more family dinners, helping plan small parts of the wedding. Even my dad seemed genuinely happy for us. The fragile peace held for a few months. Then one Sunday afternoon in late March, my phone lit up with Mom on the screen. That's where everything began to unravel. It started like any other Sunday. I was in the kitchen, half watching a documentary, half frying eggs, when my phone rang. My heart sank a little. It was my mom. Usually it meant a long story, a favor, or some friendly advice disguised as critique. I answered, trying to keep my tone light. "Hey, Mom, how's your weekend?" "Oh, sweetheart," she chirped, her voice unusually high-pitched, like she'd been practicing enthusiasm. "I've been thinking, and I have the perfect idea. We should do a family vacation, one last big trip before you get married." I paused mid-fry. "A family vacation? Sounds fun. Who's going?" "Just your dad, your siblings, and me. A cruise. 7 days, all of us together. A final memory before everything changes." My stomach flipped. I felt a cold, sinking feeling settle in my chest. "Just us? You mean Maya isn't invited?" She laughed lightly, a laugh that somehow felt dismissive. "Oh, honey, it's nothing personal. She'll have plenty of chances to vacation with us after you're married. This is just us. Original family, you know." I couldn't hide my discomfort. "Mom, I don't know. That feels wrong. Maya's been part of our lives for years. She's family now." There was a pause. Then the tone shifted, sharp, defensive. "I just want my family together one last time. You'll understand when you're older. It's not about excluding anyone. It's about making memories as a family." I tried again, reasoning calmly. "But Mom, we're already married in everything but name. Maya lives with me. She's part of holidays, birthdays. This isn't just some new relationship. She's part of our family now." She huffed. "Oh, I forgot that when a son gets married, he has to abandon his family to please his wife. God forbid a mother's feelings matter for even 2 seconds." That line, sharp, biting, and drenched in guilt, hit harder than I expected. My hands tightened around my phone. "Mom, that's not fair. I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm saying I can't leave Maya out. She's my fiancé, and this is important to her." There was silence for a few seconds before she said slowly, accusingly, "Is this her influence? You're not thinking for yourself, are you?" I felt my chest tighten. Influence? Like I was some puppet she had to protect herself from. I said nothing at first, trying to calm my pulse. Then finally, "No, Mom. I'm thinking for myself. And right now, that means standing with the woman I'm about to marry." She scoffed. If this were a mother taking her daughter on a girl's trip before her wedding, no one would say it's a betrayal. I felt anger rise, hot and sharp. So because I'm a man, my loyalty to my partner is somehow less? That's a sexist double standard, Mom. I'm not betraying anyone. I'm including my fiancée because she's family. She didn't respond for a long time. Finally, her voice softened, a fake pity in it. "You'll understand one day. Maybe. It's just a little trip, but apparently even a small gesture like that is too much for you." I hung up before saying anything I'd regret, but my hands were shaking. My mind was racing. How had we gone from a normal conversation to this? My mom was framing this trip as one last family memory, but what it really was became painfully clear. A test. A way to see if I would choose her over my fiancé. Telling Maya. When I walked into the apartment later that evening, Maya was arranging books on the shelf. I took a deep breath. "Maya, Mom called today. She wants to do a family cruise, without you." She froze, her hands stilled mid-motion. For a moment, her face was a mask of calm, but I could see the hurt. "Without me?" "Yeah." She didn't respond immediately. Instead, she walked over and hugged me tightly, holding on longer than usual. I felt her shoulders shake against mine. Finally, she whispered, "I've been trying for 6 years to be part of your family. I've baked with your sister, helped your dad with tech, cooked for your mom, and she still doesn't see me as family?" I had no words. She was right. All the attempts she had made to be accepted had been erased by this trip. "It's not personal, Maya. It's Mom. She's stuck in the past." "The past," she said softly. "She's trying to erase the present. If the roles were reversed, she'd never dream of excluding me." Her voice cracked a little. I felt rage and helplessness at the same time. Rage at my mom for trying to manipulate me, and helplessness at how much this hurt Maya. "We can't let her do this to us," I said firmly, wrapping an arm around her. "We're a team, and we decide together what counts as family now." She nodded, a mixture of relief and tears in her eyes. "Thank you. I needed to hear that." That night, my phone buzzed repeatedly. My mom had sent a flurry of texts, accusatory, guilt-laden, and somehow all painted in pastel-colored passive aggression. "I can't believe you're choosing your fiancé over your family. It's just 1 week. Is your fiancé really more important than us? We've always been there for you. Don't forget who raised you." I didn't reply. I just put the phone down and sat with Maya on the couch. Milo jumped into our laps, and we sat in silence for a long time, both thinking about how much the peaceful family we thought we had was really a minefield. By the next morning, my siblings were texting me. Noah said, "Dude, it's literally a cruise. Stop letting her run your life." Emma sent something longer. "I get both sides. Mom's hurt. Maya's hurt. But maybe compromise is possible." And the email came from Mom. "We've booked the cruise. We'll miss you. But I see where your loyalties lie. Enjoy your life with your new family." I stared at it for a long time, my hands trembling slightly. Part of me wanted to respond, part of me wanted to delete it and pretend none of this mattered. But deep down, I knew there was no pretending. The day after Mom's email, the tension in my apartment was palpable. Milo seemed on edge, too, circling around our legs, whining every so often. Maya was quiet, reading a book, but with her brows knitted. I could feel her trying to process everything without breaking down again. I opened my laptop to check emails and messages, only to find a cascade of notifications. My phone had blown up with texts from my siblings. Noah. "Seriously, dude? Mom's overreacting. She's just a little sad, not evil. Just suck it up. It's a cruise." Emma. "I know both sides, and I get why you feel the way you do. But can't you just go for a week and make her happy? It's not worth cutting her out completely." I typed a response to Emma, my hands shaking slightly. "It's not about making her happy. It's about standing up for Maya. She's my fiancée. We're building a life together. Leaving her out would send the wrong message." Emma didn't reply. Noah sent another text. "Wow, harsh. You're making a mountain out of a molehill. Mom's just trying to spend time with family before you get married. Why's that a crime?" I didn't respond. Instead, I called Maya into the living room and sat with her. "You don't have to read these, okay? I just want you to know I'm not letting them pressure me into leaving you out." She leaned her head on my shoulder. "I know, it's just, I didn't expect this. I thought they liked me. I tried so hard to fit in. I held her tighter. You are part of the family now. If they can't see that, that's on them, not us. Later that evening, my dad called. His voice was quiet, almost apologetic. Son, maybe just go. It's only a week. Keep the peace. Dad, I can't just keep the peace by disrespecting Maya. She's my partner, my future wife. This isn't optional. I know. Your mom's fragile right now. She's feeling displaced, I guess. She's scared. I let out a slow breath. Dad, she's not displaced. I just have my own family now. That doesn't mean I don't love her. It just means I can't leave Maya behind. She's my priority. He sighed heavily. I understand, son. I really do. She won't take it well. I hung up feeling drained. Every fiber of my body wanted to just scream at my mom, tell her exactly what I thought of her manipulation. But I couldn't. I wanted to do this carefully. For Maya, for us. The next morning, Mom sent a flurry of texts in the family group chat. I had muted it, but notifications kept popping up. Mom, I can't believe you're letting your fiancé dictate your decisions. We raised you, and this is how you repay us? Noah, I mean, come on, Mom, he's not abandoning you. It's a vacation, not a betrayal. Mom, it's not about the vacation. It's about loyalty. You think Maya should always come first? This is why men today have no backbone. Emma, Mom, maybe you're overreacting a little. I don't think he's choosing one over the other. I finally typed a message, trying to stay calm. Mom, I'm not choosing over you. I'm choosing with Maya. That's how families work now. She's not a guest, she's part of my life. If that's too much for you to accept, that's your problem, not ours. There was a pause. Then the silence that followed was almost more painful than her texts. The real breaking point came when Mom showed up unannounced. She knocked on the apartment door, suitcase in hand, and tried to hand me a brochure for the cruise. Honey, just look at the options. You can still change your mind. I stepped back, heart pounding. Mom, we've talked about this. Maya isn't going to be left out. I won't do it. Her eyes welled with tears. I just wanted one last memory with my son. Is that too much to ask? Mom, I love you. But you're asking me to erase Maya from my life. That's not possible. She shook her head, angry now. You're being unreasonable. After all I've done for you, how can you treat me like this? Maya stepped forward, voice trembling but strong. Linda! I love him. I respect you, but I am part of his life. I am family. If you can't accept that, this isn't just about a trip. It's about your own insecurities. Mom's face twisted. You think you can lecture me in my own house? This isn't about insecurities. I finally lost it. Yes, it is. This whole thing is about control and fear. You don't get to decide who is or isn't family. That's my choice. My life, my marriage, and Maya is my partner. Period. The room went silent. Mom looked like she might cry, shout, or storm out. I couldn't tell which. Finally, she spun on her heel, muttering, I can't believe this. I'll just go without you then. After she left, Maya and I sat together, holding Milo in our laps, exhausted. I didn't want it to get like this, Maya whispered. Neither did I admitted. But I'm not backing down. Not from her, not from anyone. You're my family now. We cried a little, held each other, and promised to face the fallout together. We knew that the next few weeks would be full of passive-aggressive texts, awkward family gatherings, and probably some resentment. But we also knew one thing. We had each other's backs. And in the quiet moments that night, I realized something important. Standing up for your future sometimes means breaking the patterns of the past. Sometimes it means risking your comfort, your relationships, even your own guilt, and doing it anyway. The morning after Mom stormed out, the apartment felt heavy, like the air itself had thickened. Milo patted around nervously, sniffing every corner, as if sensing the tension between us. Maya sat at the kitchen table, nursing a cup of tea, staring at the steam as if it held the answers. I flopped into a chair across from her, exhausted in body and spirit. Do you want me to call her? Maybe I can calm her down, Maya suggested softly. No, I said, rubbing my face. Calling her now would just make things worse. She's not listening. She's too invested in her own feelings to hear ours. Maya nodded, and for a moment there was a fragile peace. But that calm didn't last. By mid-morning, my phone buzzed relentlessly, emails, texts, notifications. My mom had apparently decided to go ahead and book the cruise without me. I opened her email, my stomach sinking as I read, We've booked the cruise for the dates I mentioned. We'll miss you, but I see where your loyalties lie. Enjoy your life with your new family. Love, Mom. I stared at the screen, stunned. The passive-aggressive undertone was practically dripping off the page. Enjoy your life with your new family. As if she had just washed her hands of me, and more than that, as if she was punishing Maya. Maya read over my shoulder, her eyes narrowing. That's cold, she whispered. She's trying to hurt both of us. I know, I said. But I can't back down now. If I go without you, it's like I'm validating her manipulation. We spent the next hour drafting a response that we would never send. Measured, calm, asserting boundaries and stating clearly that Maya is part of my life and family. We didn't send it. We didn't need to. The act of writing it together was enough to remind us we were on the same side. Noah and Emma had been in the middle of this whole situation, and their reactions were complicated. Noah texted me, "Dude, this is ridiculous." Mom's just sad. "Can't you just go for a week? You're making this bigger than it needs to be." I replied, "Noah, it's not bigger than it needs to be. It's about respect. Leaving Maya out isn't just a week. It's a message that she doesn't belong. And she does." Emma sent me a longer message. "I get that this is important to you and Maya, but Mom's been emotional lately. She's scared of losing you. She thinks the trip is one last memory with all of us. I don't agree with her completely, but maybe there's a compromise." I replied calmly, "There's no compromise here. I won't leave Maya behind. We're a team. If that upsets anyone, that's not my problem." Their reactions showed me something I hadn't fully realized before. My mom had set up a narrative, and my siblings were being pulled into it. Everyone had their version of the truth, and I was suddenly painted as the villain. 2 weeks later was our engagement party. We had carefully chosen a small venue, invited immediate family, and tried to create a warm, celebratory atmosphere. But the tension was palpable the moment Mom didn't show. My dad came alone, shuffling in quietly, avoiding eye contact. He tried to mingle, but the guilt was obvious on his face. Noah and Emma drifted between us and the buffet, whispering and casting quick, worried glances. Maya looked radiant in her dress, trying to smile at relatives, but I could see the strain. People whispered, "Where's Linda?" I guess she's still upset about the cruise. The whole room felt like a minefield, and every smile we tried to give each other was laced with anxiety. At one point, someone quietly asked me, "Don't you think you overreacted? Mom just wanted some family time." I froze, wanting to respond with a speech I'd rehearsed 1,000 times. This isn't about some family time. This is about respect, boundaries, and choosing the family I am building now. Leaving Maya out would have been a betrayal. I didn't say it out loud. Instead, I took Maya's hand and we walked to the balcony to get some fresh air. The night felt like a mix of relief and exhaustion. After the engagement party, the family dynamic began to shift in subtle but undeniable ways. Mom texted sparingly, each message dripping with subtle guilt trips and veiled accusations. Noah started visiting less, subtly siding with Mom in conversations. Emma, though more supportive of Maya, occasionally echoed Mom's points about tradition and family memories. It was frustrating and heartbreaking. Every time we tried to include them in wedding planning, there was an undercurrent of tension. My mother seemed to be mourning the idea that I would no longer revolve my life around her, and that was the hardest part. She wasn't mad at me for choosing Maya. She was scared, resentful, and using passive aggression as a weapon. Maya, however, remained my anchor. Every time I felt guilty, frustrated, or torn, I looked at her and remembered that this is what family now looks like. It's messy, complicated, but it's ours. Sitting in the apartment late at night after another round of texts from Mom, I finally realized something. This wasn't just about a cruise. It was never just about a cruise. It was about control, old habits, and the need for approval that I had carried into adulthood without realizing it. Maya sat beside me, exhausted but steady. She leaned her head against my shoulder and whispered, "We're going to be okay. This is just a test. They'll adjust, or they won't, but it doesn't matter. We're a team." I held her hand tightly. She was right. Standing up to my mom was painful, exhausting, and guilt-ridden, but it was also necessary if I wanted my marriage and our future to be built on trust, love, and mutual respect. I couldn't let anyone, even my mother, teach me otherwise. The weeks after the engagement party were a slow burn. Mom had stopped texting as frequently, but every message she did send carried a subtle sting. It was the kind of guilt-tripping that didn't accuse outright, but whispered in the corners of your mind. "You're abandoning us. You're choosing someone else over your family. I refuse to engage." Every time I thought about replying, I remembered Maya's words. "We're a team. Don't let her test you." Maya became my constant anchor. She helped me process the resentment I felt toward my mother and the frustration of my siblings' divided loyalties. We spent long evenings talking about boundaries, fairness, and what family meant to us now. Slowly, the anger started to lose its sharp edge, replaced by a quiet determination. We were not going to let anyone dictate our lives. One evening, my mom called again. I could hear the tension in her voice before she even spoke. "Son, I just wanted to see if you'd reconsider the cruise. It would mean so much to me." I took a deep breath. "Mom, I've made my decision. Maya is part of my life. If you can't accept that, then this trip isn't for us. I love you, but I won't leave her behind. That's not negotiable." There was a pause. Then she sighed almost quietly. "I see. I guess I'll have to get used to it." It wasn't an apology. It was an acceptance. But it was acknowledgement. And for the first time, I felt a flicker of relief. My line had been drawn, and Mom had, in some way, recognized it. As the wedding approached, tensions with Mom were never fully resolved, but they became manageable. She didn't attend every planning meeting, and I stopped expecting her to approve every choice. Instead, I focused on what Maya and I wanted. Even Noah and Emma began to adjust. They started to see that Maya wasn't taking me away. She was joining our family, not replacing anyone. Slowly, family dinners became less tense, and my mom, though still controlling in little ways, stopped testing me outright. The hardest part of all this was understanding that love and family sometimes meant standing firm against those you care about. Mom had raised me to value family above all, but she had also taught me to avoid confrontation. For years, I had put peace above respect, avoiding conflicts to keep everyone happy. This time, I chose respect. I chose partnership. I chose my future. And in doing so, I realized something profound. Sometimes boundaries are the only way to preserve relationships. If I had gone on that cruise, if I had kept the peace at Maya's expense, the seed of resentment would have grown, silently poisoning our marriage before it even began. One quiet evening, a few months after the cruise debacle, I sat with Maya on our balcony watching the sunset. Milo slept at our feet, curled into a ball. "You know," Maya said softly, "that cruise incident, it really showed me where your priorities are, and it wasn't even hard to decide. You didn't hesitate." I smiled, though my chest tightened. It hurt, though. I didn't expect it to be this painful, even with everything I knew about Mom. "I know," she said, taking my hand, "but it mattered. It mattered that we stood together. That's what marriage is. That's what life is. You didn't betray your family, you just expanded it." I held her hand tighter. "You're right. And you know what? I think Mom's slowly starting to see it too. She just hates feeling powerless." "Then let her," Maya said with a grin. "We've got each other. And honestly, we're building a family she can't control." When I look back at everything, the calls, the texts, the emails dripping with guilt, the engagement party tension, and the family fallout, I see the truth clearly. Standing up for what's right is never easy. It's messy, emotional, and sometimes lonely. But it's also necessary. Maya and I learned something invaluable. Our partnership isn't just about love. It's about protecting each other, validating each other, and creating a life where both of us are respected. And my mom, she's still my mother, still my family, but she's no longer the one dictating the rules of my life. The cruise never happened for me, but in some strange way, it marked a beginning rather than an end. It was the moment I fully claimed my life, my marriage, and my definition of family. It hurt. It tested me, but it also made me stronger, because in the end, choosing Maya wasn't choosing against my family. It was choosing with her, and that's what real family looks like. So here I am, reflecting on everything, wondering Aita for refusing to go on my mom's family vacation that excluded my fiancé, and for choosing my future wife over my mother's wishes. Because even though it was the right choice for our marriage, the fallout has been brutal, emotional, and heartbreaking, and I still feel the weight of it every day.